Salbona, you creative visionary. I am Tembi Buthelezi, Queen Bringer of Good Hope. Welcome to episode 8, the second phase of Alex's journey, Echoes of the Past. As the sun sets, casting long shadows through the cabin's windows, Alex logs into Zoom. The screen flickers to life, revealing Queen Bringer of Good Hope's warm and compassionate face. Despite his usual disdain for anything resembling therapy, Alex feels an unexpected sense of ease wash over him. This isn't the sterile probing of psychoanalysis he had feared. Instead, there's an inviting warmth to Queen's presence, suggesting a journey into the soul rather than a dissection of his psyche. Queen greets him with a serene smile, her voice soft yet clear. Welcome, Alex. Let's take a moment to center ourselves, encouraged by her gentle demeanor. Allowing his eyes to gently close, the strains of mystical music in the background setting a contemplative mood. Let's begin with a deep breath. Queen instructs, her voice a soothing presence in the quiet of the cabin. Focus on the air filling your lungs, and as you exhale, let go of any immediate anxieties and expectations. This session is a space for exploration, not judgment. As Alex follows her guidance, the worries of the day drift away, and he finds himself more present in the moment. His heartbeat, a steady rhythm amidst the soft hum of the cabin's seclusion. Queen's voice, steady and encouraging, invites him to face his deepest fears. Today, let's gently approach the fears that linger in the back of your mind, particularly your fears about death. Unveiling the past. Think back to a time when loss first touched your life. Queen continues, guiding Alex into the recesses of his memory. The room fades away as Alex's thoughts drift back to his childhood home, to a moment frozen in time by the ring of the telephone. In his mind's eye, he's suddenly a young boy again, the sharp ring shattering the normalcy of a family evening. His father's face, the first adult expression of grief he had ever truly registered, comes into vivid focus. The confusion, the shock, it all rushes back with clarity that startles him. The memory unfolds. His grandmother's sobbing filling the house, a relentless echo of despair. Alex remembers wandering, feeling invisible among the adults, overwhelmed by their grief. The faint smell of cigarette smoke leads him to the laundry room, where he finds his mother, her tears hidden behind a hastily drawn curtain of smoke. The juxtaposition of his sister, engrossed in her play, oblivious to the loss that has upended their world, strikes a chord. down the hall, life seems to go on. His brother, deep in his world of video games, a stark contrast to the gravity within the home. Queen suggests that Alex pause and absorb everything happening, encouraging him to relive the moments as though they were unfolding in real time. She asks him to share what's happening as if she is right there with him in his childhood home, witnessing the events firsthand. Alex hesitates, the burden of his memories heavy on his shoulders, but he takes a deep breath and begins to narrate with a renewed sense of presence. In the dimming light of our family living room, Alex starts, his voice steady yet laden with the rawness of old emotions. The phone rings. It shattered the normalcy of an ordinary evening. My father answered it, and I watched as grief washed over his face. He received the news of my grandfather's passing, a moment that seemed to freeze in time. He pauses, his eyes reflecting the turmoil of that day. My grandmother had been living with us, he continues, since Grandpa was frequently in and out of the hospital during his final months. That night, I remember her in the kitchen, just off the living room where I stood. Her sobbing filled the house, a relentless echo of despair that seemed to seep into every corner. Alex's voice wavers as he delves deeper into the memory. My younger brother was in his room, door slightly ajar, completely absorbed in his video games. It was as if the world outside that room hadn't changed, as if our grandfather's death was just another ordinary event. The stark contrast between his oblivion and the rest of the house's mourning was striking. He looks down, the isolation of that time making his heart heavy. And there I was, the eldest, somehow expected to stand strong, to somehow step into the void left by my grandfather. It was a role I assumed without anyone asking, without anyone acknowledging the weight of it. I felt like a heavy cloak draped over my shoulders, one that I'd never been able to fully remove. Alex's eyes opened and met Queen's, finding a sliver of comfort in her empathetic gaze. I felt alone, Queen, he admits softly. With my dad lost in his grief, turning to anger and despair, and my mom hiding her tears behind curtains of cigarette smoke in the laundry room, the responsibility felt overwhelming. My sister continued to play with her Barbies, and life outside seemed to move on as if nothing had happened. Queen nods, her voice gentle yet firm as she guides him. Alex, let's sit with these feelings for a moment. The solitude, the responsibility. How do these experiences shape the man you are today? How do they influence your understanding of strength and vulnerability? As Alex ponders her questions, the shadows in the room grow longer, and the haunting strain of the mystical music seem to underscore the gravity of his reflections. He realizes that this session, though painful, is peeling back layers of his past, allowing him to confront and perhaps understand the deep-seated fears that have shadowed his journey into adulthood. Back in the cabin, Alex's eyes flutter open at Queen's gentle prompting. The room is dim now, shadows long and deep. What you felt then, Alex, was a profound early brush with mortality. Not just the fear of death, but the impact of loss on the living. Queen's voice guided him back. Let's explore these memories, not to reopen old wounds, but to understand how they have shaped your understanding of life and death, of fear and resilience. How do you see these events now from the perspective of the man you have become? As the sun dips below the horizon, casting the last golden rays through the cabin window, Alex feels a shift. The weight of the past feels different now. Not lighter exactly, but more integrated into the fabric of who he is. Ready to delve deeper, he nods to Queen, prepared for the next phase of their journey together. As the session with Queen delves deeper into Alex's psyche, uncovering layers of long-buried emotions and revelations, will he find the strength to transform these insights into actions? Or will the resurgence of these powerful memories pull him back into the solitude of his internal barriers? Stay tuned for the next episode of Into the Woods, where the journey into Alex's soul continues, promising revelations that could reshape his understanding of life and legacy. Don't miss the transformative session that awaits as he seeks to navigate his path through the intricate landscape of his past and its echoes in his present. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and the notification button so that you never miss an episode of Whispers of Wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.